Hello my friends, the situation in Bahamut is not really great. The Russian side moves forward day by day, and today they covered quite a lot of the territory, and this gray area moved towards the northern border of the Bahamut city. And even 1 week ago Russians were quite further away, and they recently crossed this road over here and continued their assault on the city, and they entered the city taking lots of the quarters in the residential area. So I guess we may expect some difficulties for Ukrainian army in nearby days. President Zelensky said that as long as Ukrainian army can resist, it will. So we still have the supply line which goes through this village over here. It's kind of country road out here, but still it's the only line that connects our soldiers in Bakhmut with supplies. Russians were not able to take the Bakhmut city on the 24th of February, giving some sort of the present to the Russian president, but still I'm very concerned about the situation there. And now I'm almost sure that Russians would capture this part of the city. About the central part, I have the doubts, but still, if Wagner agreed to supply more ammunition shells, they may take Bakhmut under their control, unfortunately, and this may happen in March. Let's go to the timeline. So yesterday it was like that. Russians were further away from Berhivka and Yahidne, and today they almost captured those two villages. Yahidne is kind of small, but still you have the residential area on the north. Now our forces moved closer to the central part to increase the resistance against the Russian forces in the region. So we really show our resilience against the Russian attacks in this area. For how long Bakhmut holds, my friends? I think few months already. Nevertheless, we have some of the good news. Leopard 2 tanks have arrived to Ukraine from the Poland, and it's great. I think 4 tanks were delivered, and this is Leopard 2A4 variant, which was not modernized by the Polish army, unfortunately, from what I can see, but nevertheless it's the great option for Ukrainian army, and hopefully we're gonna receive many more. Some of the countries will supply them to Ukraine as well, like Spain, Finland, Germany, Poland, and many more. And Sweden will send to Ukraine 10 of the Leopard 2 tanks. Awesome news for Ukrainian army, and also they will supply Ukraine with more anti-aircraft systems. Even RST, which is very expensive but the best out there middle-range air defense system. There's the information that Russia is getting ready for one more rocket attack. It may happen tomorrow on 25th of February, or maybe on 26th of February, because they put more ships into the sea near to Crimea, and those ships may carry the cruise missiles calibers which Russia uses vastly in this war. There was the big press conference of Vladimir Zelensky dedicated to 1 year after the war had been started, and I'm gonna publish the English version. I'm gonna find it and publish on my Telegram channel. So for it, go to the video description and subscribe for my Telegram channel. Thank you so much. The Pentagon Chief Lloyd Austin said that the war will finish with negotiations, and the starting point will be that Russia would withdraw their forces from Ukraine. That's the good point. He also said that United States with allies are preparing Ukrainian soldiers, and they'll supply more artillery systems and other goods that will help Ukraine to penetrate Russian defense lines. So for sure, we should expect some sort of the counterattack from Ukrainian army very soon. And Ukrainian Defense Minister Reznikov confirms that. He said that there will be Ukrainian counterattack. We are working hard and we are getting it ready. We'll receive tanks and armor vehicles, and also our soldiers are going through the special training with the help of our Western allies. So the same words as Lloyd Austin said. And I guess this counterattack will happen over here on Melitopol, Mariupol or Berdansk direction. There is the new military aid package that Ukraine will get very soon. It is about $2 billion help. The main part over there are the artillery shells, which are very important for Ukrainian army. Poland is ready to supply F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine if the coalition will be formed from the many of the countries. as it was before with the tanks, and I'm sure that we're gonna get those airplanes, and there are many of the countries that are willing to supply those jets to Ukraine. And not only F-16s, we got the same message from Italy, and I think Great Britain may supply Ukraine with the Eurofighters Typhoons. And Sweden got this version of the Leopard 2. It's A5, more modernized. It has more armor on a turret. The gun is a little bit longer just on A6 and A7 version, and here we have better protection from the sides. About the tensions in Transnistria, there were no any reports about the escalation today. And Germany extends the option for the Leopard 2A6 tanks. They increased the number of those tanks that will be supplied to Ukraine from 14 to 18 tanks, so 4 more. Those are the great news. And this is the RST system that we already have in our army that was supplied by Germany. I didn't know it has some sort of the sand camouflage, and it's good for the winter time, I guess, because it's much lighter compared to the green one. And this is the Russian war map near to the Bahamut. So here they were stopped by Ukrainian forces and unable to move to cut Ukrainian supplies, but as you can see they entered the city. So I would say this map is quite real, and it's very similar to what we have seen in a deep state in this video. Finally, the European Union agreed on a new sanctions package on Russia. This is the 10th package, and I don't know what is inside that one because those news have just appeared in media. And this is Berlin. A Russian tank, destroyed Russian tank, was put near to the Russian embassy in Berlin. So thank you local authorities for letting this thing to happen. And I guess this could be the T-62 tank over here. Yes, it looks absolutely wonderful out there, and I hope they will keep this tank for some time. Maybe if I'll have the free time tomorrow, I'm gonna visit the place and take some photos, but not sure. Wagners are sending more forces to Africa, in Chad, Central African Republic, and also Mali, ex-French colonies. And why it happened? Well, basically because the local governments mostly were changed with the help of Russians, and the French Foreign Legion was forced to leave most of the countries. There were some of the clashes in Mali, and I spoke today with one of the guys who is also performing the evacuation of the French personnel from those countries, and basically he said it's very hard out there and getting very hot. So why does Russia needs those African countries? Because they are in reach of minerals like diamonds. And getting control over those minerals will open one more supply of the funds to the Wagner army and to Russia. Also, China invested lots of the stuff into Africa and has their own influence out there, so it could be one more hot region in the future. Well, Africa is kind of complicated place. Yeah, and more about China, they have published their peace plan on Ukraine as they think, but we already declined it as unreal because they want to stop supplements of the weapons to Ukraine and they want peace negotiations, etc. with Russia. So there is no any kind of accusation towards the Russian side, and still they're against Ukraine joining the NATO alliance. But for Ukraine, it's the only option to protect the country. Well, President Zelensky said that he spoke politely. He said, well, China already started to speak about Ukraine and it's a good sign. And American side said that the first item that China proposed, respecting the sovereignty of all countries, is good, and that should be it. And clearly China plays on the Russian side here, trading Ukrainian territories for some sort of the peace agreements. The similar opinion comes from the Hungarian government. And you see how they use the double standards out there. They blame Western world for the double standards, but they constantly use them themselves because China has the conflict with India for some sort of the territories in Kashmir, and also China dreams to attack Taiwan and take it back. Should other countries trade Chinese territory in that case to achieve peace agreements with India or Taiwan? You know the answer. China also may supply weaponry to the Russian Federation, but I don't think that they will do it, because in that case they will be under the sanctions. They see what is happening with Russia and they do afraid attacking Taiwan. My friends, now please press the like to this video. Also, if you want to support my channel, there are some links in the video description just below for you to do so. Thank you so much for your help and your support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.